Surviving End Times, looking at connections here at this April 8th great eclipse, history, and the sign of Jonah. All this tying back biblically to Jesus, statements that he made himself, and what he said in terms of signs, of which we were told to use the moon and the stars as signs and to watch for the signs, to know the time of the signs. There was one sign in particular that Jesus said to watch for. It was the sign of Jonah. Now, this is tied into a great eclipse that went over Assyria in 763. And this went over the region in the capital city of Nineveh. And this is where this all comes into play, with that name specifically popping up in the United States in the path of the eclipse 11 times. We found 7 and 8 and 9. It is 11 at this point. When you look at the full list as it crosses the United States, and you can see Jonah is also on that path. Here is that list so people are aware. In Texas, Missouri, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania twice, Virginia, New York, Nova Scotia twice in 2 different areas, and in Kentucky, just slightly spelled different. But there they all are, and it's real deal. And that right there is pretty amazing, that an eclipse is going to go down a small little pathway on this planet, and it crosses that many towns along the way with that name. Now, I covered that in a separate video, but when it comes to the whole sign of Jonah, when you look at history, something seems to occur with this sign of Jonah. What happened right after the big eclipse took place in 763? It was preceded by a great earthquake and a plague. Now, the earthquake that took place was so great at the time, it was just known as the earthquake. And it was recorded in Amos 1:1. So you have the eclipse that took place over that region, over Nineveh. And then afterwards, there was a great quake. And also, it was followed by a plague. So this is very interesting. Just within a 3-year window of the eclipse, these things took place. And it's said to be something that has set a pattern. Now, when you go back into time, also, interestingly enough, when it comes to when Jesus was crucified and the eclipse that took place with him, we have discovered April 8th as being a key date in that timeline, also tied in something I should just share and cover in a separate video and break down as well. But I wanted to keep this specific to the sign of Jonah, because the sign of Jonah has a connection with an earthquake and a plague. And it's something that we could see play out, because it looks like the sign of Jonah is in motion here, potentially. So if this goes into motion in order, or plague, earthquake, earthquake, plague, either one of them, they're happening within a 3-year window of this big eclipse event, well, you can say, some could say, and will say, that this serves as the sign of Jonah, because that is what the sign of Jonah is. Discover covered this, and others out there seeing this for what it is, that there's something here. And I thought I would share it with you guys. Some more connections here in terms of this eclipse history and what it could mean from here. I'll leave links. Make sure to join me for the live streams Monday and Friday, where I dive into this a whole lot deeper. Hope to see you guys there. This has been Surviving End Times. Much love.